Hello everybody, this is the cell phone holder directions. So you're going to take two of those strange shaped pieces of metal and we're going to cut out different pieces out of them. To get the exact measurements, you can listen here or you can look at the examples of how to cut and you can get your pieces from that. So this is the cell phone holder. It has three parts to it: back, front, stand, cell phone. Okay, and you can see that it's got a cutout spot for the phone charger. This piece, this is 4 inches. Actually, this is the entire piece, as you'll see on the measurement exactly. This is 4 inches. Actually, I apologize for that. This is 4 inches. This is the entire length. This is 2 inches. This width is 2 inches long. And this is 1.5 by 3/4 of an inch. You can cut all of this out of two of those strange shaped pieces. And after you get them cut out, so aluminum build, so welding too, you guys are going to do this with the tiny pieces of aluminum that we have. Please conserve metal as you lay this out and cut it up. You can literally trace two of these onto a piece of metal, cut that out, and then build from there. That would be just fine. For welding too, you can get away with using the bandsaw for this cut. Otherwise, in one cut with this, otherwise you're all using the plasma cutter, the hand plasma cutter over there, to get this accomplished. When you get all three of your pieces cut out into the shapes that you can see here, you need to then take it to the grinder station with a hard disc, and you need to sand the edges, sand the boogers off of it before you go to weld it. The better you cut, the better you weld. So even if you're a bad welder, you can improve your welding by having straight cuts. So that would lead me next to point out that you need to use the straight edge. That's extremely important. As I've just seen with all of the aluminum boxes that have been built, we really need to focus on our cutting ability, and then the welding becomes so much easier. So cut better. So what we have here, when I went to attach this, I drew a line, which I don't know that you can see it anymore because it's mostly covered by this piece of metal, but there's a tail of it right there. Drew a line, I put this on it, made sure that I was 90 degrees, okay? And I tack welded it on this end and on this end. I didn't tack weld a side and a side because it's going to pull left or right, because molten metal, as it cools off, it shrinks. So it's going to pull your piece. So if you have it standing up straight and you tack weld on this side, it's going to go just a little bit, and it's not going to come back out of that. So tack weld it here and here, so that way it doesn't pull left or right. And then you can come in here and do a small tack, and just put a bunch of tacks on each side. It looks like I have 3 on each side, and I alternated them, so that way it didn't have too much force going one direction to pull it. And then I put some welds on it. It looks like I put about an inch weld and an inch weld, again alternating them, one and then the next. And then I went more towards the top, did one and the next, to get those tack welds on there. I don't need to weld the entire thing. You can, feel free to. When I came to put this piece on, I first needed to measure it out, and there's not a set spot for this. Phones are different with the charger cord and how big the phone is, so you can put this where you want. Do make sure that it is square, meaning this is 90 degrees from here to here. That is important no matter where you put it, otherwise your cell phone's going to be sitting crooked. Okay, so that's important. When I welded this on, same idea. If I would have welded on this side first, it would have pulled that way, because as the molten metal cools, it shrinks, and it would have pulled down. If I would have done this side first, it would have pulled up. Neither one of those I want. So I tacked the edge and the edge. Then I came in here and I put a small tack on the bottom side. I don't want to put a tack on the top side. It's where the cell phone is sitting. Okay, so I did not weld the top side at all. This is not going to have a whole lot of weight on it at all, so I didn't feel that I needed to weld all the way across there and risk it pulling down. So this is the cell phone holder. For welding 2, you guys will need to finish yours with the sandpaper disc. For welding 1, if you want to, you can use a sandpaper disc. Reminder with the grinders, you can either grind at one of the stations that you've been approved to use, which is the bench grinder station or the hand grinder station, or you can take a hand grinder to one of the middle booths. So that would be booth numbers 1 through 10. These will be available to look at, or this example will be available to look at with another example of how to lay out your measurements for cutting. Happy building.